We still continue to have a crisis at America's southern border, so much so that President Biden himself finally the other day admitted that this is a crisis. And what was the White House's reaction? To try to distance themselves from the comments of the President of the United States. I've never seen a White House before try to say that statements by a President of the United States regarding a crisis doesn't constitute the White House position. It is a crisis. I'm glad that President Biden is finally acknowledging it. I wish Vice President Harris, who President Biden put in charge of this, would actually go down and see this right now. And the fact that she still hasn't, after weeks of being in charge of it, shows that they don't take this seriously. And in fact, they've self-created this crisis. We see the drug cartels taking hold of America's southern border. The drug cartels are making millions of dollars a day running our southern border, bringing people across illegally. And by the way, we had Dr. Fauci before the Select Subcommittee on Coronavirus last week. Dr. Fauci, under oath, testified that President Biden's violating the CDC guidelines that he set in regards to coronavirus. So we all know the social distancing guidelines. We all know that any restaurant in America that was operating above capacity would be shut down today if they were rated for 250-person capacity. Imagine if that restaurant had 4,000 people in it. Dr. Fauci testified that, yes, that restaurant would be shut down, but yet the Donna detention facilities opened, operating under those kind of extreme conditions. And I asked Dr. Fauci if that violated CDC protocols, the way the Biden administration is running that Donna detention facility. And Dr. Fauci testified under oath that, yes, President Biden is violating CDC protocols as it relates to the way he's running the facility. We further went on and asked about the protocols that CDC has set up for American citizens that travel back from Mexico. So if an American citizen travels to Mexico and then returns, before they get on an airplane, an American citizen has to produce a negative COVID test. It's not a recommendation, it's a mandate that CDC has issued, so an American citizen couldn't even get on that airplane without a negative COVID test. And yet today, you will see maybe hundreds of people from the Donna detention facility put on airplanes without a COVID test. Some of them, our own Border Patrol agents acknowledge, are COVID positive, being put on an airplane without a negative COVID test. So once again, the Biden administration is making us live by one set of rules when they're not even following their own rules. And Dr. Fauci testified under oath that that is violating CDC protocols as well, the way that they are transporting people that came here illegally throughout the rest of the country. And the Biden administration still won't tell us how many people have been put on airplanes, where they're being sent, because clearly those states now should be concerned about the public health crisis that is being created by the Biden administration, violating their own CDC protocols, the way they are mismanaging this crisis at the border. This continues to be a problem. We're going to continue to raise awareness until this gets solved. The president could solve it today by restoring the Remain in Mexico policy, by reestablishing those relationships with the Northern Triangle countries that were in place during the Trump administration and working very well, working with our partners, with our neighbors on our southern border to help control our border. That is all gone right now because President Biden got rid of it by executive action. President Biden created this mess. He can fix this mess, and we call on him to do it today. And then finally, when you look at the additional push by Speaker Pelosi and her socialist allies in the House to push such a broad left socialist agenda. Just the other day, one of our top leaders, Jerry Nadler, filed a bill to pack the United States Supreme Court. And while Speaker Pelosi initially said it wasn't going to come up right now, Jerry Nadler himself said that Speaker Pelosi will come around. And we couldn't even get the majority leader last week to commit that this bill will not come up. So no doubt they will continue to try to pack the Supreme Court if they can. They have opened America's southern borders, and the drug cartels have exploited it to the hilt. And then you look at some of the other policies that they're talking about bringing, adding D.C. statehood against the 28th Amendment of our Constitution, among other provisions, Article 1, Section 8 of our Constitution, just ramming through a socialist agenda, not working with Republicans on infrastructure. We want to improve America's infrastructure, and we want to do it in a responsible way. President Biden still has not met with Republican leadership to talk about how to do this. Instead, they're talking about a go-it-alone bill that would include tax hikes, major tax hikes that every American would pay. When they say that, oh, it only will be the rich, I guess if you pay utility bills, you're going to be one of those people, because their charging stations that they want to spend billions of American tax dollars on would be paid for by monthly increases on families' household utility bills. So if a hardworking family out there wants to pay more in their utility bills, that's what the Biden infrastructure bill would do. That's not roads, bridges, ports, waterways, and broadband. Those are the things that we want to work on. That's not what the president is working on. He said when he ran for office that he would unify and work with everybody. He has yet to follow through on that promise. Day 100 is coming closely. All he's got to show for his 100 days in office is more lost jobs, killing the Keystone Pipeline, killing many energy jobs, pushing a very far left radical agenda, opening America's borders, trying to pack the Supreme Court. That's not what America elected President Biden to do. We're calling on him to follow up on the promises that he made during the campaign.